can't believe I'm regretting not watching more isekai anime. How the heck do I get back to the real world? Oh.
ねえチャーリー、イギリスのこと好き？
どうして行かないなんて言ったんだろう。君またが僕らの未来を送ってくれていたのに。
行こう、世界を変えに。
残念ねチャーリー君、そんな有害な考えを持っているなんて更生施設に入ってもらうわね。許されることではないの。
あのアメリアって子は全く悪影響なんだよ。
文化を守りたいっていう気持ちのどこが悪いの？みんな自分の生まれた国や文化が大事なはずでしょう。悪いことだなんて私には思えない。
うん。今度は一緒に行くよ。
Yeah, what is wrong with trying to protect your culture and your country from illegals, from people trying to, blow your country up and
another thing is like there are people who are from other countries trying to go through the legal means, right?
Yeah,
and like it's like when I worked at Albertsons. There was this older Filipina that worked at the behind the counter at the pizza. They had a pizza.
Wait. We didn't even introduce the show. You just jumped right in. I was doing introduction and you just jump right in. This is why Elizabeth and Case bully you, man. Like seriously, this is really why you get bullied so much online on other chats. Yeah? And so it's a bit weird to just suddenly jump in when the introduction is, starting up and you're like, yo, I'm like telling a whole story without even saying hello to the chat.
Shit,
Yo, chat, what's going on? Now you can do your bit.
All right, fine. Well, I didn't know what my bit was. I lost my place. Damn it.
So something about some Filipino, right? Who did it like myself, like my mom, right? Worked our way into the country rather than just
right. And she's like, well, I don't have like a border to sneak over. She had to pay like $300 to prove that she was related to the person that took care of her,
right,
or raised her. Yeah. So,
yeah, and it's crazy that people think that they deserve to be in the country because they they just jumped a border and or got in this tunnel or climbed over a wall, So I think it's crazy seeing all this stuff. I mean, one of the most craziest thing right now, I mean, there's so many crazy shit going on, right? Is this thing over in Iran where you finally get women standing up for their rights over in Iran after 47 years of being beaten, tortured, jailed, whipped, stoned, abused, having their clothes ripped off and everything. And you think that like Western feminists would be like, yay, sister, all these 100 years or so.
They don't care. They only care about themselves.
Fighting for women's right. You are guys actually doing it with your life. Like you're actually paying for it, getting shot up in the streets, and your family members are getting called in to be abused or getting rounded up to be slaughtered, and bodies are piling up in the hospitals. But you know what? But that's Western leftism.
Oh yeah, they don't care about anybody but themselves, and if it's somebody in actual like, that's another thing some people pointed out is the protesting like in the West doesn't work, but it works in like poorer nations.
Right, and this is the difference between how people in the West see. Because I come from a poor country, right? I come from Pacific Island called Fiji, and a lot of people know about Fiji because of Truman Show. Because Truman wanted to, his one dream was to go to Fiji, and he was stuck inside that facade of a world that he lived in, right, where everybody's watching him on TV. And so when you grow up without water on a tap, flowing out of tap, you have a different idea of like water flowing out of tap. At instant moment, you go and turn it, or having to walk about about 5 miles, I think it was for us, and little kids walking to school over dirt roads, and then also walking along the road because there was no friggin' footpath, and you had to be really careful that you went too close to the main road. So the thing about I find really annoying about Western people is that because they don't have their background of not having things, they just expect everything to hand it to them. So when they see people complain about not having them overseas, they just get on their $1,000 phones and go, "Oh, well, we have to go and we have to go and tell ICE that they can't kick these illegals out."
Right.
Like, but they're there to protect you, dude.
You know what?
From those illegals.
I came up with an idea years ago that I think should be implemented, and I wish they would actually. People like really young people, like in high school, like about to graduate, should be forced to go live in a poor country with no money. They have to live off exactly what they have to live off of for 3 weeks, and then when they come back, maybe they'll be more appreciative of where they live.
Yeah, so in New Zealand we call that OE, overseas experience. Like, so after graduations, people can get sponsorships or scholarships to travel overseas, or they can save themselves. My brother went to Philippines, if I remember right.
Yeah.
And he was there for about a year, and then he also went to China as well to do ESOL, which is English language, English as a second language type thing, schooling. And like living amongst, like, because he's from Fiji, so he's used, he understands because he goes to Fiji all the time, and poverty levels and how to look after yourself in these places. But if you've never experienced a third world country, and not all Asian countries third world, but there's ways that they do stuff over there that is very different to what we can just walk up to a shop and buy stuff.
They kind of have to make do with what they have. No, well, that what I mean is they get somebody pays for them to get flown over there, but they don't have, and they get brought to to stay with a family, but they don't have their own money. They have to live off exactly what the people that they're staying with live off of.
I just realized the mic was like pointing elsewhere. So my sound might have been really down, guys. Sorry, apologies for that.
Oh, Mr. I'm so perfect. All of a sudden, couldn't point the microphone the right way.
Exactly. I was like, wait. I went to put down my drink, and I was like, what? Where's the mic? But maybe it's a good mic. Was it really low?
Right in, and you couldn't even point the microphone the right way.
Exactly. I think I should be bullied as well.
I know.
Okay, so I'm going to play this video out of Australia, and this is one of the base channels that they have over there. That it's called Sky News. It's not the same as Sky News England, because England is like so friggin' opposite of this channel. So if you watch this and you go, wait, I thought I was in Australia. I mean, I was in England. So this Britain, right? So this is Aussie, and they're basically Aussies, pretty much like us Kiwis. We're cousins. So we have, unlike America and Canada, we're actually very similar, in how we see things. So check this out.
New York last week, the pro-Palestinian white liberal feminists decided the really noble thing was to attack the anti-commie Iranians. You couldn't make this stuff up.
Iranian people peacefully having a protest, and these Antifa Democrats try to show up and turn up anti-ICE.
And at the same time, another proud feminist, Sia Weaver, has now been appointed by New York's Islamo-communist Mayor Zoran Mamdani to protect tenants. What does she have in mind, I wonder? Here's a video of her that has resurfaced recently.
I think the reality is that for centuries we've really treated property as an individualized good and not a collective good. And we are going to transitioning to treating it as a collective good and towards a model of shared equity will require that we think about it differently. And it will mean that families, especially white families, but some POC families who are homeowners as well, are going to have a different relationship to property than the one that we currently have.
So this nutcase, right, thinks that what's mine is but this is the problem, because like everybody in New York went, voted for this dude, this Muslim communist, right? So this nutcase basically thinks that my property that I've worked for, and I'm saying, like, if I'm a New Yorker, right, that I've worked for, that I've built over generations, that I've left to my my children's insurance. Now I'm sitting there as a grandchild, that belongs to her, that they can give it over to somebody else, and that whatever's inside it belongs to somebody else.
It turned out very well for them. I can see them a recall election being brought up.
Yeah, I don't even know how people are so stupid to vote Muslims in government, right?
Well,
I don't understand.
I think more importantly, they voted in a communist.
Oh yeah, full on communist. But Islamists are very communist, and they go hand in hand with communism, and
I can see how they're compatible.
Yeah, it's almost the same thing, right? It's always like, have you ever seen a male who's like a communist leader? Oh, sorry, female.
I think I might have seen clips of people who have described themselves as communists. Yeah.
But as like head of state.
No.
Well, most communism.
Go ahead.
Yeah, it's a misogynist thing, and so Islam's basically a misogynist rule thing as well, and so it's crazy that like a lot of times these people like the females always lean towards communism and socialism. It's because they work out of a emotional, loving, caring viewpoint, right? Mentality. Whereas men are very logical and practical, and they tend to basically go, what's the right thing here, right? I think you're muted, dude.
Yeah, I was looking up something. I didn't want to like have you hear my typing.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I'm kind of wondering how this will turn out, because I guarantee you there'll be either a recall or maybe lawsuits, because in the States it doesn't work that way. Your property is your property, and in fact, I think we are encouraged as United States citizens to protect our property from government. So this seems like a huge overreach.
Yeah, I don't even know how they could even think that, though. That's the thing that really bothers me.
It doesn't even sound like it should be legal.
That's it. That's what I mean. It shouldn't even be a thing in the West, and it's crazy because like I think a lot of people just work out like, oh, but if everybody had enough of everything, then they'll be everybody will be happy. But it doesn't work that way, man. People are inclined towards friggin' when they're given something that they don't even work for, they don't take care of it, right? They're always like, it's always this, it's always back to poverty again, because it's not in the human, I think it's not in the human mentality to not work for something, right? So when you work for something, you appreciate it more because you use blood and sweat and tears, as we say, right? And so you appreciate it more. But if you just get it handed on to you, you just use it and throw it away. I see that a lot. It's like with kids when you're growing up, you give them a toy and it's like next thing they move on to something else. Not like that something, and you go, oh man, that cost me $100. I just bought that for you. And next thing it's like, oh, it's broken. It doesn't matter. And it's a lot of times I think these females are behaving like children when they think about the world. I think a lot of them just don't understand how some things just, is basically not feasible in a society, right?
So I'm looking it up here. It says right here, there is a real distinction with keeping in mind a mayor cannot simply make property communal by decree, and nothing in U.S. law allows a city to abolish private property rights outright.
Well, yeah, so that's illegal straight away. So the fact that she can go on with so much, pride and say, well, this is what we're going to do in California, or New York, sorry, at this point. But I mean, so it's going to be in California as well, because wherever there's blue, right, as you guys say in the US, blue states are basically commie states because they don't really care about your own citizens.
Well, they're very left leaning. That's that.
Yeah.
But over time, especially in recent since Trump has become president, they've become worse. I mean, I grew up in Washington State, and it was always left leaning, but nowadays it's just gotten worse. I mean, one guy gets in the office and they all freaking lose their minds.
Yeah, man, it's crazy watching. It's crazy watching this from bottom of the world, because you get a very different perspective. Because, like I say, I watch like maybe about 10 different things, in a daily basis from different places around the world. Australia, China, New Zealand, Asia, America, Britain. So I get to see what's going on, as little as I can, as much as I can, I should say, of little bits of everything around the world at any given time. And I think a lot of people, because they only watch a certain amount of news just to do with their own political leanings, they don't really understand what's actually going on around the world. I mean, like Aussies, I'm going to play something later on, but like Aussie has just had they've just got rid of free speech, right? Because of Islam.
They have always kind of, they've banned a lot of movies outright that come into Australia. Yeah, I mean, I've heard stories, but yeah, they've never seemed to be pro free speech as much.
Yeah, it's the in New Zealand and Australia. There's a government, government party or political party called Labour, and Labour, even in the UK, is basically the same thing as Democrats around the world, like in America, right? So anywhere you've got a Labour Party, they have a socialist communist viewpoint, and so their ideas are great, right? Okay, we're gonna like build more houses. But then they turn around and use that money for that house that you voted for them to build. They go and put that money into somebody else's pocket, right? They use it for something else. Oh, we're going to give it to these people, and we're going to give it to these people. But well, what about the houses for our countrymen? You said we're going to build cheaper homes because all the houses are getting bought off by foreigners, from overseas for about 300, 400K. Yet our locals in a two income can't afford to pay save up for a down payment. So that was like 8 years ago almost. Actually, yeah, it was 8 years ago they promised that. They were in power for about 7.5 years. This is the one leader, right? And we only had about 10,000 houses built at the least, at the most, I should say, out of 100,000 that was promised. So where did the money for that other 90,000 homes go, right? And this is what I see about, with America, with the fraud. Billions were getting sent over to Islamists to fight friggin', to kill Christians and so on, and Africans over in Africa, all right, Nigeria, and I always forget the other place that there was there. But yeah, millions of people getting wiped out with using American money, and Americans don't even know that because their politicians did it, like under Biden and under Obama, right? So for me, I think Trump is a great thing to happen because it opened up and threw back you're like you got a rug right in the house, and like you get the kids to clean up vacuum up or whatever, brush up the dirt, and they end up freaking just brushing it under the rug. And now Trump comes along and goes, okay, we're just going to take the rug away and see what's under here, right? So it's kind of crazy to see that. But I want to get back to this. I'm going to talk about this, how women see things, right? So this is an old video from a while back about what women say versus what they respond to. Let me see if I've got it at the right.
What do women really want?
I don't care what they want.
I only care what they respond to. See, my focus is a little bit different from your other guests. There's what women say they want, there's what women think they want, and then there's what they actually respond to. I'm interested in what works on the street when it's time to date and mate. And what women actually respond to is not what they say they want.
So what do they respond to?
They really respond to a guy who's a challenge, a guy who's a question mark, a guy who keeps them guessing. You see, in the beginning, the less attractive you are physically, the more you have to rely on your attitude. And that's what I wrote my book for. I wrote my book for the average looking, even ugly guy who goes out there in the real world and tries to be a nice guy, gets his head kicked in.
So no more Mr. Nice Guy.
You can be pleasant. You see, we got to define our terms. By nice, I mean accommodating. When you accommodate, you get what the commode gets. You get the crapola. You have to learn how to say no to a woman.
What do women really?
Maybe there's a difference.
Carry on, sorry, my bad.
There's a difference between being nice and being a doormat.
Exactly. Right. You don't be a simp, right? Don't be simping for these women. One of the craziest. Carry on.
I just basically don't be a doormat. If you don't like something, say so. You know, if you're not down with something, say so. You know, don't let them walk all over you. You wouldn't want to walk all over them. It's kind of a mutual respect thing. If they're not going to respect you, then you're not obligated to respect them.
I was thinking like along the lines of how, do you know that like so many women now girls, right? I should say not women. As soon as they turn 18, they basically want to start an OnlyFans. And there are so many men who just jump on and start paying for it. Like,
well, okay, yeah, go ahead.
There was this whole there was a video I saw recently about all these women who did that, and then now they're all turning to Jesus because their lives are miserable.
Exactly.
Because it's like, it's crazy thinking that like, hey, I can go out there and like have all these leeches leech off me and give me money because, hey, I don't need no man, but hey, but here I am. As soon as I turn 18, I am just going to start up an OnlyFans and hundreds of thousands of men will follow me. And it's just like, one of the craziest thing about that is that it's like the new lolly, right? It's like the new flavor. There's always going to be new flavors on OnlyFans, and soon they realize that they are used by daters within that 1 year period. So that 1 year that they spend like being on OnlyFans, it's basically that's all they're going to have. And after that, they're just miserable people using drugs and relying on drugs and depression and being depressed all day long, and then putting on a facade to get online on their OnlyFans to create whatever, because there's hundreds of millions of simps, male simps around.
Yeah, I've seen that. I think it's like part of the bigger that like the younger generations need to be famous without putting in any hard work or being good at anything. That's like what they call it, clout, right? I think it's kind of a part of that. So they know they're good looking, so they make an OnlyFans account because they want to make money. And
that's basically it, like the fastest thing, right? It's either go on EBT or have a kid or go on OnlyFans.
Well, I mean, it's like it's like some of this younger generation has no integrity. You used to have to be famous, good at something, or at least people had to kind of like what you did. Like people, I think real fame. You don't go looking for fame; it chooses you. You just do your thing, and if people like what you do, then you're famous, right? But it doesn't mean you're wealthy. I don't know. I just what's the point of OnlyFans when you can go get porn for free?
But that's the thing, right? It's that 18. It's that 18. It's like you've gone from being a teen to an adult. And that's what attracts males to that. It's like, oh, now, right? Now she's no longer 17. So now it's safe to watch her naked now at 18. Right?
Oh,
so
I mean, that's kind of creepy.
I know. And here's something worse than that. So let me bring this up. Let me remove that one. So yesterday, this whole thing blew up about this YouTuber with 300 Twitch tuber with 300K, over 300K subscriber base, right? And these like followers, subscribers, whatever, people that pay money into them. This is a guy called Lacari, and he's got kids watching him play games. So let me find the right one. There's a couple here. So one gets, yeah, one's a longer one, one's a shorter one. So let me see if I can get the right one here. Oh yeah, here's the shorter one. Okay. So this dude basically got exposed himself to having CP on his computer live.
Gross.
Yeah.
K feeds. Let me at least add way to the list of champions that I like.
This Twitch streamer just accidentally opened his corn stash live on stream, but I want to make something clear. We're not talking about the usual corn stash where you'd see bups like Riley Reid, Sasha Grey, or Sophie Rain. No, we're talking about the illegal kind of corn stash filled with Clash Royale minors who look like the berserker from Clash Royale. But instead of immediately ending his stream like any normal potential PDF file, he decided to keep streaming for like a whole other hour, where he tried numerous times to try to gaslight his chat. He even tried to craft some false narratives like, guys, I must have a virus on my PC. Let me boot up Malwarebytes and scan my PC.
Text files aren't viruses. Okay. Continue with free. Can I start my scan?
What are you trying to do now?
Scan by PC? I don't have any threats. Virus free.
The funny part is that I genuinely feel like he was praying that he had a virus, because then he could have gone with the angle that, see guys, I have a virus on my PC, and that's definitely why I had some cheese pizza link pop up on my notepad. But obviously, no one in his chat was buying his BS. Even Malwarebytes wasn't buying his shit because it didn't find any virus. Let me tell you exactly what happened so we're all on the same page. Essentially what happened is that Lacari's running Windows 11 on his PC, and during his stream, he decided to boot up Notepad. But little did he know is that the thing with Notepad is that on Windows 11 is that if you close it off and you reopen it, it's going to pop up the last thing that was showing on your Notepad. For example, me, if I boot up Notepad, you see like something popped up. Okay, so this is my filter on Path of Exile that just popped up. What I'm trying to say is that this whole, oh, I've got a virus on my PC. Oh, I don't know why this link appeared on my notepad. That whole angle doesn't work, Lacari. And to give you an idea as to how horrible the content within the links that Lacari accidentally exposed really are, and I do want to be transparent here for a second and say that this is research I personally didn't do and wasn't comfortable.
This is the longer version.
Well, that guy's screwed.
Yeah, because now his Twitch channel has been deleted. Everything. Yeah, but this one gives you a background on this dude, right?
I'm streamer on Twitch. Lacari, who is best known for his League of Legends gameplay, has outed himself. He has completely canceled himself, and as you can see, this is a live version of Twitch. This channel is temporarily unavailable due to violations of Twitch community guidelines or terms of service. Now, you probably watched a bunch of videos on this subject, but what makes it more interesting is the fact that there were signs of this kind of behavior before he even outed himself, which is absolutely creepy. Now, if you are sensitive, I want to put this disclaimer out. I'm going to censor the next video clip that we're going to start. We're going to start chronologically of events. And if you are squeamish, I say, hey, skip over it. I understand. But this very first video has to take place where Lacari, the bottom, is playing REPO. And he's with some friends of his, I would imagine, playing a certain game, and they're in a lobby waiting for another person to return. And meanwhile, this conversation goes on, and it's kind of telling as to what led up to his current cancellations.
But it's something about the like the forbidden. It's like the forbidden.
Oh yeah, are you into those that you shouldn't?
Yeah. Then when it's wrong,
I don't know if you should admit that on stream,
right.
Lacari. Oh God.
Wait, what do you mean? No, okay, no.
No, nothing, man. Don't worry about it, bro.
What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? And this is a thing. If you have, like myself, I have a daughter. It's like what are you talking about? What?
You know how, like, I
That
think
is
a
a
little
strange thing for someone to say.
Yeah. What do you mean? The difference between 18 plus or 21. With me, I'm always like, it's got to be 20 or more, man. Like safety first, right? How old are you? You know? Yeah. Sorry, I can't talk to you. If you have TEN
Exactly.
in your name, is your parents around? You know, because I can't be standing next to you talking to you, right? Because with me over the last few years, like, I mean, 5 years in a row, actually 6, I was working, because I'm involved in local pop culture conventions and stuff. Like there was a gaming convention, which was in 2018. And then and here in Whangarei, right? And then, so I started getting into the whole convention side because I got asked to actually start one up. And because I said, well, I said, I want to do one, right? And then the lady said, listen, I could help you get funding to do that. I said, okay. And so, we did one for 5 years. So one of the things for me was like, I said to my friend, right? I said, hey man, watch my back and make sure I don't get into relationships for the next 5 years, right? That that I don't, because I know I'm going to be in a public eye and so on, I got to protect myself, right? And so one of the things was that because I've come from a background of working with like youth work, we were taught really early on about how to behave around children, right? Because children don't understand certain nuances, right? And they'll run up to you and hug you and stuff, go, hey, how are you doing? And you're like, wait, yo, I'm in a position of leadership. Somebody could see that. Well, they might not know who this kid is. Randomly, they think that's just some random dude, but it's actually somebody in my youth group. So we were taught, like, we had to do actual courses in like kind of like HR courses on how to be youth leaders. This is like about 26 years ago, dude. And one of the things that's that I see a lot happening over that time is that a lot of people have in positions of leadership have never actually gone through that on how to behave around children, how to behave around females. And so now you see them and you go, oh, dude, that's a leecher, right? Like, what the hell? And so you got to have guidelines in place on how, in your own head, how you're going to behave around in certain situations. And this dude here, Lacari, man, he's going, what do you mean, right? What do you mean?
Right? Yeah, I wouldn't feel comfortable with some random kid running up and hugging me. I'm like, no, don't hug me.
Exactly.
I don't feel comfortable with that.
Yeah. And I'm like, because I'm a hugger, right? It's in our family, we all hug. And so one of the things that I had to stop about last 7 years ago, was to stop myself from hugging people, especially females. I'd be okay with hugging a male, but not with a female, right? Because I know I've got friends who just come up, hey, Aru, put their arms around me and hug me, right? And because that's how, our relationships are. But if it's a female, we'll be like, no, hey, how's it going? Hand out, hey, how are you? Shaking their hand and stuff. And that's about it. And because all of a sudden, everybody was like, okay, yeah, you can't be seen, in compromising positions with a female. It doesn't matter if they're your friend or not. And I've heard so many situations, actually 4 in the last 5-6 years, where women have turned up at parties and have got themselves, drunk and got in bad situations, and then later accused a dude of rape and stuff. Right?
I've never hugged anybody who was just a friend. I might hit you on the shoulder, but not hard, or shake your hand or fist bump or something. But I've never hugged people. I don't feel comfortable with people that are just friends hugging me.
Right. It's a cultural thing. It's a cultural thing. So, and I've noticed that, right? So in New Zealand, it's more of a cultural thing, right? Like if they're not part of your family or your friend base, you don't hug them, right? You just shake their hands. But if they're, if they're what we call whānau, which is an extended family, yeah, people are okay with hugs and stuff like that. But not talking about kids. I'm talking about adults hugging each other, right? So, and welcoming whatever, because we have a tradition of what we call hongis and stuff, right? Where you actually press noses to each other, which is kind of the same as North American, Canadian, Indian type thing, and you press your noses to each other, and one hand goes behind your back and one hand in front, sort of like shaking hands, right? It's kind of, but it's more kind of, it's very. Let me see if I can find you something to show on that note. Hongi greeting. Here we go. So we are pretty, in the sense in New Zealand, we are pretty, I guess, warm natured in that sense that we're very,
I see.
Yeah, it's cultural for us. So let me see.
Did you know that the Maori people of New Zealand greet each other with a traditional gesture called the hongi? It involves pressing noses and foreheads together, symbolizing the exchange of the breath of life, ha. It's a powerful sign of respect and connection in Maori culture. Like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more amazing.
I thought he would have something else to say there than that.
Do you know the origin of the handshake?
Sorry, say it again.
Do you know the origin of the handshake?
Yeah, so that people knew that you weren't going to kill them.
Exactly.
Right? Because yeah, so this is kind of similar as well, because you actually, it's two people meeting, two warriors, meeting and greeting each other, and then of course then goes on to the woman doing the same thing later. But you're sharing life, you're breathing into each other, but also the idea is that you have one hand in front, right? And the other hand over their shoulder, so they can't attack you. Because you're holding them, but you also are holding them close. So it's kind of a really,
kind of almost like the same principle as the handshake.
Yeah.
New Zealand, the Maori people have a unique greeting that's not just a gesture, but a profound connection. It's called the hongi, where two individuals press their noses and foreheads together, a tradition signifying the sharing of the breath of life. This practice exemplifies the Maori's deep connection to spirituality and community, often undertaken during special ceremonies and gatherings. For outsiders, it might initially feel unfamiliar, resembling a close and intimate gesture more than a formal handshake. Yet within the Maori culture, the hongi transcends mere introduction, marking mutual respect and unity. Understanding the hongi shines light on the beautifully intricate Maori traditions, offering a glimpse into their world where interactions are bridges of shared humanity. In the heart of New Zealand.
Yeah, so that's the cultural thing, right? So I mean, we all have a shared culture which says that children, are off limits, right? But then come along, then all of a sudden you got all these people basically coming across and saying, well, children are our tools. We can use them for whatever we want, politically.
Those are people that shouldn't be parents.
Yeah. Well, but then there are teachers who do the same thing to kids, right? Oh, they won't let parents know about what's happening with their kids.
Yeah, I've heard about that, especially when they're teaching them something they shouldn't.
Yeah. So there is something I had actually, since we're segueing to that, since we're talking about that, I might as well segue to that. So there is this thing that came out of Australia, which is, like I said, they're just our cousins just across 3-hour plane ride. Well, actually 2-hour plane ride now, I think. So kids, let me see, where's this list? So there was a mother who basically found that a kid brought home coloring stuff that was promoting self-hate as Australian. Here we go. I think this is the one. We'll get back to Lacari in a minute. Check this out.
Schools kids are being indoctrinated with this self-loathing for our country and shame at our history. A New South Wales mother has spoken out after her child came home with colouring books that were all about saying, we're sorry. One of them said, take action. Sorry starts with me. We are sorry. There are all these resources online for National Sorry Day that teachers are encouraged to use in classrooms. And this, I mean, firstly, I think this is a big reason why so many parents are looking at sending their kids to private schools. They simply don't trust what their kids are going to be taught in the public system, and they feel like they'll have no rights to stand up and stop it. But also, what does this do to children when from kindergarten, or we've seen examples from preschool and childcare, they're constantly told to apologize, and sorry starts with me? That makes it sound like you're responsible. The child is somehow responsible for colonization, for Indigenous disadvantage. That is totally unfair to put that on a child.
A kid's living on stolen land.
I always find that hilarious when people like want to say, well, colonizing is a bad thing. Dude, a lot of people, a lot of societies,
a lot of advances came through colonization.
A lot of them would be dead without colonization, dude.
Yep.
In Fijian indigenous Fijians were hunting Tongans, Samoans, Niueans, Tokelauans for food. They'd get on their ships, outrigger ships, and they would go hunting for food, for meat.
Yep.
Right?
How did they taste? Oh, it varies from person to person.
That's why they call them long pig, right? That's why the islands call them long pig, because it's, you know, it's a bigger size pig. So for me, I think colonization is the greatest thing that ever happened to humanity, because without it, a lot of races, you know, indigenous groups would be wiped out totally.
Well, think about. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, no, carry on.
Think about the Scandinavians. I mean, they, as soon as they got introduced to Christianity, they stopped raiding other cultures and sacrificing them to Odin.
Yeah, and that's in India, if your husband died, you as a woman had to throw yourself on the burning cremation fire to die with your husband, therefore leaving your children parentless for centuries under Hinduism.
Yeah. Oh, that's kind of like again Scandinavian culture. Where
But think about kids with no families, no parents to look after them, who had to be brought up by grandparents who are getting old, right? Or probably in poverty. So I despise Hinduism as much as anything else, bro. And I'm so glad that, you know, and that whole Indian culture of caste, I despise that and loathe them as much as I loathe Islam. Because and that's why, like, that's why Christianity was accepted so quickly by Indians, because it offered them a moral place where they didn't have to kill themselves because their husband died, where they could be accepted into arms of God without any work, right? Without any, you know, laying down of their lives. And so that in North India, where Thomas, the disciple Thomas went to, that's where most Christians most Indians are Christian. And so, and like same thing with New Zealand, right? You had like I think there's a whole bunch of Christians that arrived here, and in Fiji as well, that stopped freaking cannibalism. So you had tribes of warriors going to tribes every freaking season, whatever, going over to hunt them for food. You know, it's crazy.
Well, again, Christianity also, for the Scandinavians, they didn't have to die in battle just to go to the afterlife.
Right. And that's huge as well. Like, okay, you know, it's kind of like in Japanese culture,
And
right? You had to be like,
it's not
you're right. it's something going on with them. So I was watching Lone Wolf and Cub yesterday, the first video, and it's the first movie I should say. And so what this dude was going to try to help his leader, right? His village elder, whatever leader. And they decided that, well, yes, we'll give our lives so that we can, protect this leader. And they were willing to do it. They're like, we'll happily lay down our lives. And it's like, wait, what about your family? You're gonna leave them fatherless for this dude. And I think it's kind of like strange to think that like Christianity and colonization is so bad only because you haven't actually looked at history with open eyes. And a lot of people on the left have never looked at history without a bias, because they've never learned to look at anything without a bias, because it's all emotional.
Yeah, well, to be fair, I mean, the Europeans did do pretty messed up things, but I can't get mad at the actions of dead people because they're dead.
Yeah, I mean, they're dead. But not only that, we're here alive because of the sacrifices. For whether it was good or bad, we're still here, and we're ready. Aborigines, dude, would be still without clothing, running around, dying out because of whatever.
Aren't they still?
These came about, right? Most of them are. They're very backward, to be honest. And this is a sad part about it, is because on the one hand, they're told to look, learn, to appreciate their culture. On the other hand, they stick in that culture where they're abused by family members, their alcoholism and drugs and stuff. And so they never actually get out that cycle of living with guilt, with victimization. When you're a victim, bro, you can't see anything but feel sorry for yourself,
Agreed.
I was gonna go back. Let's go back to Lacari, right, with his child porn listings. It's pretty.
God.
Yeah, it just gets worse and worse for this dude, man.
I bet.
Right. So let me. Where is it? Go back to so this dude.
And it's a thing. If you have, like myself, I have a daughter. It's what are you talking about? What we talking about?
See, you know what? I like are great because like they get the job done. It's quick and easy.
Boring.
30 seconds. They know what they're doing, and I don't have to worry about anything.
I want a wholesome girl, Ooh.
Crazy.
See, this is what kind of like stacks it up. It's easy to just brush over this, but it stacks up right there. He said, he asked him a question to make him feel comfortable. He said, do you like the forbidden? And he said, yeah, dude. And so with that, on top of that, he likes the innocent. So what is that? Like the forbidden and innocent? That don't sound right. And so I don't know how to say his name correctly, but Ruffaligator, I want to say, he might have just thought that this was a joke, but you're going to see that this conversation actually turns very personal quickly.
One ooh girl, that goes ooh XD and shit. I'm like,
you need a therapist.
You're more deranged than me. You're in VR chat every day. No one in VR that goes in VR chat every day is sane. You are mentally.
Listen, hey, he's talking about some grown stuff, right? VR chat, whatever that has to do with the situation. You're over here talking about something absolutely insane. And people, and I'm not trying to like kink shame or anything like that, but if you stack it up, when it talks about innocent and forbidden, those two things, these are words, these are very strong words that have a certain kind of direction, and it's kind of messed up. Then he's talking about the ooh, okay, but the two words is really what kind of makes you, it's a little bit of that little head turn, like, huh?
Insane, you know it.
Yes, okay. We're all mentally ill. There's a bunch of people watching a dude play video games all day. Like everyone here is mentally ill, but we get to pick and choose our mental illnesses. Mine is simple. I like anime. I like sports. Okay.
And so you could already see like this ain't no like back and forth between two friends. That no, this is like, hey, we're getting something going on right here, and it's starting to pick up with the emotions. And I hate to go like pause these things, but it's very easy to glaze over something that had happened in the past. And I'm not too familiar with Lacari, other than a few like clips here and there that I've seen. But really, this whole entire thing is actually showing me like, oh snap! But this was clear as day, and this is off of somebody else's stream. And he's coming back like, huh?
I don't try to be something I'm not. All right.
And then what about me? No, call me up. Go ahead.
I don't know. You're scaring me, man. I like them pure. I like it when, you know, when they haven't done much. You know, it's pretty nice.
Whoa. I was like,
did you hear that? Did you hear the other person on the very top kind of chime in like, what?
Yeah, I was like,
like the other two weren't listening until they heard it. Like,
yeah,
what?
because like your filters go up, right? You know, it's like, wait, what did you
What exactly
say?
do you mean?
That I've seen, but really this whole entire thing is actually showing me like, oh snap! But this was clear as day, and this is off of somebody else's stream, and he's coming back like, huh?
I don't try to be something I'm not. All right.
And then what about me? No, call me up. Go ahead.
I don't know. You're scaring me, man. I like them pure. I like it when, you know, when they haven't done much. You know, it's pretty nice. They're
And what's
innocent.
wrong with that? There's nothing wrong
You're
with that.
into virgins?
Okay, no, I didn't say that.
Then what? See, that even adds another layer. That's the third layer. Now, I didn't say that. Virgins. What are we talking about here? And this is the point where, for me, I'm like, bro, we need to get. What are you talking about? Because he said he's scaring me. He's literally that would be my reaction. Like, what are you talking about? Like, what are we talking about?
What? I like wholesome girls.
Oh no! Did you hear the way? You... What?
Now he's backtracking. This is a kind of like a easy way to backtrack a statement, knowing that you messed up. And Rothlegator, I hope I'm saying his name right, actually made him feel comfortable enough to tell the truth in that moment.
Paint this picture that I'm some sort of deviant, and I don't like it personally.
You are.
Oh man! So somebody again, it got personal. So we got another thing here where somebody had defended Lacari and his stance on Lolly. Now, if you're unfamiliar with that, I don't really know too much about it. I'm being dead ass. I don't know much.
there is there's another video here which goes a bit more different to that, because where are we? Is that one? This one. There we go. Let me just get the link. So we get that.
After Lacari ended up accidentally leaking this, instead of him just, logging off, ending his stream, doing something smart, trying to go damage control because he could basically see his career flashing before his eyes, he decided to continue streaming and start making excuses for what people saw.
How does it end up there? Okay, let me explain what happened. All right? I was surfing a site. Okay? The shit got downloaded. Like, I didn't trigger a download, just got downloaded. I opened up the text document. I saw what was in it. I deleted the text document. I deleted it. But the problem with Windows 11 is that even if you delete the text document, it apparently still stays there. So it was still there after I deleted it. I've told you guys 1,000 times that's what happened. Like, I dude, I'm sorry. Like, I have like a fucking 3 terabytes of on my hard drive, bro. Like a.
I don't think he was buying that excuse.
But 3 terabytes, bro.
Right. That doesn't mean it. That doesn't mean anything. He had illegal shit on his computer. He's a gross.
No,
fiend.
but the dude's got 3 terabytes and he's a streamer.
Right.
When do you have time? When do you have time to watch that? And why do you need to watch all that? Look. Every male's a gooner, right? I can understand that, but 3 terabytes is a lot. That's like a lot.
I wonder if the authorities are aware of this guy.
Yeah, I think he's TMZ. The last thing I saw yesterday was that TMZ's reporting on it.
God, that guy's screwed.
Yes, but here's the thing: the most important thing that's been left out here that we haven't talked about is that this is a gaming stream, which kids watch.
Hopefully, he gets put in the general population.
And so, oh yeah, man, yeah, Gen Pop will kill him.
Oh, they will straight out. Yeah.
I've been watching a channel on YouTube that's I think it's Viking. I think his name is Viking, who talks about actual what happens to pedos in Gen Pop and rapists and stuff.
They kill them. They straight up kill them. Yeah, and they know every inch of that prison. So,
yeah. But this dude had 3 terabytes, bro. I have a terabyte of work. It's a terabyte, not even a terabyte of work backup because I've been working, on comics and stuff like for about since 2003. Like
2003. Good Lord, that's like over 20 years.
Yeah. So I only have a terabyte. I'm not even a terabyte. And that's got to do with like comics and backups and backups and backups. Yeah, backups are backups are backup because I'm so afraid of losing anything because in 2007 I dropped my what used to be called a PDA, which is a personal display assistant, right?
Personal
Yeah, that's right. Digital assistant before it became part of your mobile phone. So I lost a story I was writing about, a sci-fi story, and I dropped it while waiting to go see my doctor. I was waiting in my doctor's office, and I stood up and dropped the whole thing and went blank. And after that, I was like, I couldn't get it back. And so after, it was kind of like a pay it forward in space, but really deep. And I've never been able to rewrite that story. And it's really it's hurt me so much, man, having to lost that story because it was going to be like this amazing epic. So I always back it up and back it up and back it up, all my stories. And even like I've got Dropbox that backs that up, all those, all my work. But 3 terabytes? I can't even get 1 terabyte with all that work for 20 years, And that's just that stuff he's talking about. It's not even talking about games and stuff. Right? Or his streaming footage. This dude is crazy.
Sometimes.
Yeah, this dude is crazy, dude.
Yeah, this guy's gross.
Yeah.
You go to a site, some shit downloads on your shit. You don't want it. You delete it. And
look at his streamer. His chat tampering with evidence. Right? His chat knows. That's we always say the chat knows, right? Chat will call you out.
That's just what happened.
Yeah, chat will call you out for your BS.
Always, and if anybody's watching this show right now, hail the chat.
Hail the chat.
Happened, man. Okay? Like, that's what happened. I'm sorry, all right? Like, I don't know how many times I have to explain this, but that's what happened. Dude, let's just move the fuck on, please. No one's gonna fucking believe me, man.
That someone's writing here, age isn't the issue. It sucks that like it's cut off because this was being recorded live, by the way. As soon as somebody realized what was happening, they started clipping, started recording the stream, and that's how we know about this. Otherwise, this could have been all deleted and gone before this dude, So yeah, I guess someone's going, Lacari, I want you to end the stream and contact your lawyer. Lacari, I want you to end the stream and contact your lawyer. So these guys are trying to protect his own stream. And here's the weird thing: his simps are basically trying to get him to save himself, right? Rather than say, "Wait, dude, you're a
Trying to
creep."
get him to lawyer up. Yeah.
Yeah, and not all of them. I have to say, right? But like some of them, right? You know, you're opening though. What were you opening though? What were you opening though? You know, not everyone's like basically with them. So, bro, what the, right? FBI at the door. You know.
But that's what happened. Dude, let's just move the fuck on, please. No one's gonna fucking believe me, man. There's no moving on. Okay.
Now, to kind of put his theory to the test here, I wanted to test it out. You know, go to new text document. We're gonna name it Fortnite, right? Now, if I open this, you'll see Fortnite opens, as well as BF6 fix. This is the one I just showed you guys, and here's Fortnite. So, for example, this is what Lacari stumbled into. He closed the Fortnite text. Obviously, his was not Fortnite. He ended up closing that. I guess he pulled up Notepad, and you see how Fortnite pops back up. Now, if he ended up deleting this file, so let's say I delete it, delete, it's gone. I pulled my recycling bin over. I'm going to clear my recycling bin. So now, when I go to Notepad again, this should pop up. If you deleted the folder, cannot find, you know, the Fortnite text on wherever I had it. So if the folder is continuing to be found on his computer, that means he did not delete it. And shortly after this, he ended up blaming a virus. Yes, he went from I downloaded something I shouldn't have downloaded, or I was downloading some, you know, adult content, and then it happened to come with a file that I also deleted to now. No, you know what? It was a virus, actually.
I don't need details. I just need to know, are you good?
I don't know.
Okay. What are you trying to do now?
Scan by PC. I don't have any threats. Virus free. 0 detections. Yeah, I mean, I guess there's no virus.
Obviously, people saw through this. It even got so bad to a point where he started cracking jokes, and he ended up saying that Mizkif was the one who sent him the folders. Even though we aren't fans of Mizkif these days, I don't think this is true.
Why would you stream
Actually, Mizkif linked it to me. He did.
Okay. Nice. That is absolutely defamation, and I will be suing you for that.
Ghost put those. Okay, first off, you're fucking
idiots.
Because the files weren't on my PC.
You literally just called me a pet. If you don't think I'm suing you, Lacari, for everything you just have, you're fucking out of your mind. That's insane what you just said. Insane.
That is crazy.
You just fucking called me a pet.
So it's like now, not only is maybe the FBI going to be showing up to Buddy.
Dude is cooked. But the weird thing is he's throwing other people under the bus, right?
Right. And now he's going to get sued.
Yeah.
Wow. The internet is forever, folks.
Yeah, I keep saying, like, there's certain things you gotta, don't, the dude's basically, this is the problem about like streaming all the time or being online all the time, right? It's, you forget that the world, you know, outside this box that we're on right now is a whole different world. And I think a lot of people forget that.
The internet should be just a tool you use to promote what you do. It shouldn't be like the whole social network. I'm trying to do more live events. I'm trying to do Retro XCon in Idaho Falls and more in-store book signing events.
Yeah, I mean, there is there's let me just get this for people who are actually around. There we go. So, I mean, in Texas area, right? So in March, there's a huge event there as well. So if you're able to get to Texas at that time, do check out this. Let me just put this up since we're talking about that. And then we'll go back to Lacari and not and other people. Yeah. And other people are not taking accountability for their actions and blaming other people, right? So let me get rid of that. Hide this here. There we go. So where are we? Here we go. So in March 20 and 21st, if I remember right. Yeah, March 22nd. There is an event in Borgia, Texas for gaming and yeah, a whole bunch of events, right? Pop culture events. So there's a convention that they put together here in Texas, in Kansas, right? I don't know much about these areas, but I know that we have our work there, had it there last year in Critical, and we're gonna hopefully we'll have we're gonna be there to promote our Kickstarter. That's
Oh, you're gonna be in Texas?
No, but my publisher will be there. Rising Sun Comics will be there because that's his hometown. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So because it's Hawk's hometown, him and a lot of his friends have gotten together to put this together, and Greg Harms is the guy who runs it. So do check it out, guys. I really would really appreciate you guys if you're in the area. Last year was really cool. So it's got the backing of the entire town and everything, which is what you want when you're running stuff like this. So it's not like outside people doing it, running it. It's actually people who live there are putting it together for the kids and stuff and families. Velvet. It's Velvet Comics 6676. You can check out this link tree. I think we have for Tim's work.
I thought that'd be a perfect opportunity to put it in the chat.
Excellent. Yeah, all our links are in our description for the streams. Now, there is this here, right? Like we'll talk about a bit more about YouTube drama, and then we'll go on to actually looking at some other news as well. So this one here, right? The TikTok video ends this dude's marriage. Right. This is from Atosi. I like watching Atosi. He's very, he does the hard work. Here we go. Press the right.
This TikTok video just ended his marriage, and because of it, the guy who's in Italy is now suing a restaurant after they filmed him on a date with his affair and posted it on TikTok. Come on. Talk about not taking any accountability here. Do you know what the simple life hack to not get caught in an affair is? Don't have an affair. But today we're looking at a situation involving a 42-year-old married man from Sicily who went out to dinner with another woman and got filmed by a restaurant for their promotional content. And because of this, his marriage is now over. So he wants someone to pay for it. And I guess that person is not himself, because we are allergic to accountability sometimes. Oh, and it's also worth pointing out that his identity was never officially disclosed by any major news outlet in English nor in Italian, because the press, especially in Europe, goes a little bit out of its way to protect the privacy of its citizens when it comes to them not being public figures. And in Italy, the standard is enforced even more strictly, and we'll see that in a moment. So what we do know is the guy is living in Canania, Sicily, and decides that he wants to take his lover out for a nice evening. But the problem is, this isn't his main lover. This is a side lover. The dude is married. So I guess he makes up a cover story and decides to go with the whole, honey, I have a business dinner tonight. And then he heads out. So that was fine until these meddling restaurant owners wanted to make some promotional content. Because I guess what never crossed his mind was whether the restaurant might be creating content for their social media that night, because that's exactly what happened. And the restaurant staff, they were recording videos for promotion and filming the restaurant during service, showing customers enjoying their meals for social media. Except in this case, the advertising came with an unexpected bonus feature: clear footage of a married guy having what was very obviously not a business dinner, because it was essentially a one-on-one dinner with a woman who was clearly not his wife. And here's where things really went sideways, because the restaurant posted the promotional video to TikTok, and somehow the dude's wife ended up watching it. I mean, that is like one of the most diabolical algorithm pulls. Like, TikTok's over here like, oh, you might want to see your husband here. Like, imagine. According to the reports, the wife's response was pretty much what you would expect. She told him the marriage was done, packed up his stuff, and kicked him out of the house. And the whole thing apparently unraveled just like a few days after the video was uploaded. So clearly the algorithm was working on overtime here. So now, instead of, I guess, accepting that his affair got exposed and dealing with the consequences of cheating, this guy decided to sue the restaurant. And his argument was that they violated his privacy by filming him without permission and posted it online. But I feel like the question question most people are asking online is, does he actually have a legitimate case here, or is it like just a cheater trying to blame someone else for his own mess? Well, both could be true at the same time, because the guy is currently being represented by COMIE, which is a pretty well-known consumer protection organization in Italy, and they're taking this very serious because they're escalating this to Italy's National Data Protection Authority. So here you have Francesco Tanasi, who's speaking for COMIE, and he told the media that restaurants can't just film whoever they want and blast it across social media without getting consent first. And honestly, that is fair. I don't think anyone wants to go to a restaurant and then suddenly be blasted all out on their social medias without your consent. And that goes for both ways. If you are cheating on your wife or just having a normal dinner with your family, you don't want your family blasted out on the internet. But the guy from Coda,
which kind of reminded me just of last week before last week. So week before last week, there was here in New Zealand, the entire GameStop franchise, which in New Zealand is called EB Games, right? Closed down. The entire, I think there was about over 30 stores around New Zealand. And so we went there because it was like 50% off everything. And apart from consoles, because they weren't selling consoles, because they'll just go back to the manufacturer, like, you know, Sony and Microsoft. But when we were outside waiting in line, I was getting irritated because we were at the front, probably about 10 people back right in front of the door, and other people would be coming in and like jumping in and like just coming across, you know, right in front and standing in front of the line. And nobody was saying anything because there was no freaking security there to go, hey, line's back there. But there was like hundreds of people behind us waiting to get in. However, because of that, the newspaper turned up, right, to take photos. And so they were standing, the newspaper was lady with, you know, with the camera was right at the front of the thing, you know, kind of like taking photos of everybody in the line. And this one lady behind us, probably about five people back, persons back, said, hey, can you not take photos of my kids? Because she knew it was going to be all over the internet, right? All over, you know, newspaper, because the newspaper's got its own channel, but it's going to be all over social media. And I was like, I agree with that. And I looked at her and gave her a thumbs up because you're right. Good on you. Protecting your kids. So, you know, you can't just film people, you know, in public unless, you know, you get permission. And I think a lot of times with journalism, now hold on, let me finish this. In journalism, with adults, it's okay. But with minors, you actually have to have permission from parents or guardians that are there. But adults, we in public places, we're cool with that, right? We don't mind. And nobody really cares about it. But when you're actually taking kids' photos, and then you're going to blast their kids, you know, especially, you know, early on in like 20 years ago, right? I said to my my sister, I said, please don't put your kids' photos online. What I'm seeing here and what we're learning here, because I was doing a whole, you know, a digital media course, degree, bachelor's degree, and we're being taught, like, you know, once you put something out there, it's going to go everywhere. And I said, hey, don't put the kids' baby photos and stuff online until a certain age. And so now you see a lot of kids' videos going out there, not just videos, but images going out there mainly. But recently there was people using AI to create CP with the photos of other people in their neighborhood. All right. So this guy was out there taking photos of kids, and then he would put it on the photos, images of CP that he had as the people of the kids in the neighborhood that he took photos of. And he got caught, thankfully. But this is the thing, you know, like, this is why I think with publicly disseminating photos of children without, you know, permission from parents and guardians isn't, you know, it should be protected. You know, you shouldn't be able to do that. Carry on, Tom. Tim.
Timothy.
Yeah, I was about to say Timothy.
Well, that's creepy.
Yeah.
But in the United States, in a public space,
yeah,
you do not need permission to film the space. And if you happen to be in public, you're not guaranteed privacy.
Yeah, but you can always
That's how it
ask,
works over
right?
here.
But not, you know, you can always ask if you don't agree with it.
I
'cause, hey,
guess
look,
you, I guess
Yeah.
you could, but like they don't have to respect or listen to it because again,
Yeah.
you're in a public space, and the courts
Right.
have consistently protected that.
Yeah.
Maybe in like other countries, that's a different story, but in the States, no. Like if it's like a newspaper, like if they're doing a story,
Mhm.
well, that's freedom of press, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have
Yeah.
you went there. They're taking pictures of the event. Yeah.
Yeah. I understand it, but like it's on the sidewalk. But I think because it was a minors, there is still that protection, even if the kid's in a public space. That doesn't give, excuse me, that doesn't give, you know, the newspaper or whatever, journalism, the media, whatever, you know, paparazzi to take just photos of their kids. You know, I remember when Bjork beat up that journalist, and everybody was, yes, good on you, because she told the journalist specifically, this is back in the 90s, don't take pictures of my kids or talk to my kids, right, to my kid. And she explained later, she said, like, hey, I told this lady specifically not to take photos of my child or talk to my child. And then the lady specifically, journalist specifically went over to my child, to my son, I think it was a son, and started going, hey, what does it feel like to be, you know, to be the son, the child of a famous singer? What is it like living with your mom, you know? And she started taking photos of him. It's like, and Bjork just beat the crap out of her. And you know, Bjork's very small, but like, yeah, she was like protecting a child, man. You know,
Well,
she gave,
yeah, that sounds like paparazzi. They usually kind of goat celebrities into to pictures. But I don't know, the state, your country is probably different, and Europe's probably, but the United States, I think there is a point where they could be considered harassment if you're following somebody and snapping photos. But mostly, I think if it's in a public space.
One thing, talking about public spaces, right? We were talking about OnlyFans people before, and I was going to bring up this Jesus thing. I find it very sus, to be honest. The whole coming to Jesus moment after going out on publicly, like,
Well, yeah.
they're all. It's like, it feels like to me another grift, bro. Hey, I've gone and gotten my and this is after getting $1 million, right? Yo, I made bank. Now I'm going to turn to Jesus and be this righteous, clean, wholesome girl thing, right? So this whole thing is like, for me, is like, sounds like a total grift, and I find it really, it's another way to you know, I've gone to grift the simps, now I'm going to go grift the conservatives, you know.
I mean, if you
it's like, there's so many out here, right? Sorry,
I said if they genuinely turn to Jesus, I don't think you need to go online and tell people.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, this is what I mean by, like, it's all another grift. I made $9 million on OnlyFans and God saved me. Yeah, now that you got your money,
Okay,
I'm all wholesome.
God saved you. Donate all the $9 million to a church or a charity.
Yeah,
get rid of it. Yeah.
Yeah, look, they're all doing the same thing, bro. They got, you know, I'm a Christian now. Yeah.
Maybe it's a way to clean up their image too, because like
20-year-old.
Yeah, I haven't seen this, but I just thought, let's see what his response is, and that's it. You know, now I'm all, you know, washed out. I've got my millions, and now I want to make, you know, I've realized that I've screwed my family and made them into a, you know, a laughing stock. The best thing I can do now is go, now I'm a Christian now, cleaned up my act. You know, this is all holy. This body's all holy now, you know? And like, so now I can now pretend that, and hey, look, I'm not going to, look, I have a Christian history, so I'm not going to start, you know, and I've got Christian family members, so I'm not going to start saying, hey, it's not all true. what I'm saying here is that these girls feel like are fakers. And sometimes it just doesn't seem, when they speak, I don't get that little thing that goes on my head that goes, hey, this is actually real. Because you can tell when someone is saying something and it touches you in a way where you emotionally go, or spiritually think, yeah, wow, man, she really made a change. But these girls just jump onto friggin' YouTube and go on interviews and go, oh, how Jesus changed my life, and after getting their millions.
You know what kind of reminds me of? Back in the day, there was that televangelist that got caught with a hooker and a bunch of cocaine, and then he went on his show, and it's like, forgive me, God.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, you got your, what we call in the old days, it's called ghoulies. You got your ghoulies off, right? And now you want to, you feel guilty about it. And so now you're trying to get people to be on your side again, right? So let's see what this dude's saying. Alan Parr.
Christian OnlyFans star named Sophie Rain claims that her faith in Jesus and her $43 million career. Yes, you heard me say it. $43 million.
See, this is why I think it's all fake. That dollar sign. I made bank. Now I'm gonna be a good girl, right?
Well, donate that $43 million to a charity, and get rid of the dirty money.
Yeah. It's like gambling, right? Like, I earned this money through gambling, but now I've come to Jesus. Hey, give away your riches, right? And turn to me. So this is what, hey, that reminded me of that scripture where Jesus goes, it's harder for a rich man to go through a
I have a needle.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me just what was that? Jesus, rich man needle. Eye of the needle. Because I don't want to get scripture wrong. Eye of the needle.
Right.
All right. So yeah, it's Matthew 19:24. Where is it? Here we go. So I'll actually put it on screen so you guys can see it. So don't think I'm making it up. Because there's one thing I actually do trust, and I mean, stick with the Bible being the word of God, right? So he goes, again, I tell you, it is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for someone who is rich to enter the kingdom of heaven, right? A kingdom of God.
Yeah,
so
that's the verse. Yeah, I knew it went something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to get it right because I knew it as well, but I'll mess it up.
Some words, yeah.
Yeah. So the thing here is, right, so the rich young man came, this is a parable, right? Story, whatever. What happened? So he goes, then Jesus said to his disciples, truly, I tell you, it is hard for a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven. And again, I tell you, it's easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter the kingdom of God. When the disciples heard this, they were greatly astonished and asked, who then can be saved? And of course, Jesus goes, he who comes to me, right? So let me get the rest of that because I think it's important context to know what was going on with that. Yeah, so he goes here, right? When Jesus had finished saying these things, he left Galilee and went into the region of Judea beyond the Jordan. Large crowds followed him and he healed them all there. Then some Pharisees came, Jewish church leaders, and tested him by saying, is it lawful for a man to divorce his wife? So he talks about that. There we go. Sorry, went to the wrong bit. Then just then a man came up to Jesus and inquired, teacher, what good thing must I do to obtain eternal life? Right? And he goes, why do you ask me about what is good? Jesus replied, there's only one who is good, God. And if you want to enter life, keep the commandments. He goes, which one? Because like basically the commands were there, right? Don't kill anybody, don't steal, don't lust after, don't make idols.
Not have no other gods before me.
Yeah. The idols thing, right? Idols, AIDOLS. Yeah. no gods before me. Yeah. So do not murder, do not steal, do not bear false witness, don't lie about your neighbor, right? And love your neighbor as yourself. That is the golden rule. Treat others as you want them to treat you. All these I have kept, said the young man, the rich young man, by the way. What do I still lack? You know, this guy is being really honest. He's like, I'm a good person, man. I've been doing really good. I followed everything, you know, I'm supposed to be following, right? The commandments. And Jesus told him, if you want to be perfect, go sell your possessions and give to the poor, and you will have treasure in heaven. Then come follow me. When a young man heard this, he went away in sorrow because he had great wealth. Then Jesus replied,
yeah, I remember.
Right?
Yeah, he didn't want to actually do the whole thing. He wanted to have a come to Jesus moment, but he didn't want to get rid of his wealth. Yeah,
exactly, right. So that's what I mean about these girls here. This one here's got $43 million made up within a couple years of doing OnlyFans, but now she's become a Christian.
Woo! As an OnlyFans model can coexist, and there's really no conflict between her career as an OnlyFans model and her faith in Jesus. But the question is this really possible, biblically speaking? So we're going to break that down, and essentially I'm going to answer that question here in just a moment.
Basically not, right? Because like even with you know, when they brought go and sin no more. That's it.
Exactly.
Right? And as we read with that, with the, you know, with the rich man, give away, sell everything, give away, you know, give your riches away to the poor, and then come follow me. Like the other thing about that is like, don't let your right hand know what your left hand is doing, right? It's about, if you're to do with charity, right? If you become a Christian, just go do that. Don't go tell everybody, oh, I used to be an OnlyFans, now I'm out here telling everybody not to be OnlyFans. Well, bitch, you made $43 million. Why are you telling other people not to do that? Even though I personally don't agree with it, but why you got to be out here telling people not to do that when you have $43 million?
It just seems a little too convenient that all of a sudden when people probably were, when they were doing OnlyFans saying maybe you should do some honest work.
Yeah. Or just stop broadcasting that, because you know what you're doing is you're still telling people
stop being a hoe.
Yeah, that there's still images of you out there under your name on OnlyFans that they can get to. This is the thing about internet, right? When you put shit out there, it's there for good. And then you're out here going, hey, I am famous for OnlyFans and nothing else. And that's what, you know, and a lot of porn stars do this as well, right? Once they have children and stuff, and and kids roast their kids at school. Oh, I saw your mom's thing. Oh, my brother was looking at this, and I found his stack, and oh, this. And next thing you know, they're out here complaining about how they don't want to be recognized for that, but they still use their same name, right? They still use their porn name. So it's crazy. This is what it's such hypocrisy, dude.
But basically, can you be?
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? You're supposed to be careful. You know, when we were kids, right? When I was 18, I wasn't like thinking about, you know what? Can't wait to put myself out there in the public, photos of myself out there. Can't wait for that. No girl was thinking that, dude. They were like, oh shit. Hopefully nobody's talking about me behind my back. Hopefully the boys aren't friggin' telling them, you know, that I gave a BJ, you know, because back then girls actually had some sort of moral, you know, self-preservation, you know, and shame about that. And now it's like, oh,
a little
turning 18
does, you know, not tons of shame, but a little shame and modesty. I'd say modesty is the most important one.
That's it. That's what. I couldn't remember the right word, but modesty. Yeah, everybody was a bit. Females were modest. Boys were like, okay, we're trying to get some, but girls were taught by their parents, don't give it away to, you know, to anyone, you know, because what you have, you only have it once, right? and once it's gone, you know, and the more often you give it away, you know, the more slutty everybody will think you are. More of a slut you'll think everybody will think you are. And now it's like, what's your body count? Oh, 250, 30.
People also don't have respect themselves anymore.
Dude, I wish I had saved that short I was just watching. That was so. I just saw this short, man. That was just the best. And it was actually, I can't remember who it was, but I think it was a black singer, and she was getting a Grammy or something. Let me see if I can find it on my short scan here. But I'll play this while we do that.
Involved in this type of industry and do these types of things, and at the same time claim to be a Christian. We're going to talk about that. But before we get there, I want to provide some context for those of you who may be unaware about all of this stuff and what OnlyFans is. So OnlyFans is basically, it's a platform that allows the creator, if you want to call them a creator, to be able to provide services, content, messaging, pictures, videos, exclusive content only for your fans. How do you become a fan? You got to shove out that money. You better put them ducats out there, right? So that's how you become a fan. And that's how she has been able to make $43 million in the last year. If you don't believe me, I'm about to show you a image where she posts her earnings. And so basically these fans have certain access to you, exclusive access to you. And essentially these fans, they're paying the creator or the model.
And now I'm not going to be a hypocrite and say that I don't watch some, but I do not watch OnlyFans. I do not follow any OnlyFans, right? It's just, I just find it hilarious that these people would spend a year doing this shit, earn millions of dollars, then turn around and be a hypocrite about it, right? When all of them know that this is going to be out there forever. But the lust for money and greed for money, you know, like they say, it's the root of all evil.
And fame.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
without integrity, fame without integrity is what it is, too.
Yeah. And which is where I was going to bring this video that I saw that clip. Now, here we go. This is, who is this? But this is, I hate it when hold on. So, yeah, it doesn't say who it is, which kind of sucks. But check this out, right? I've gone a bit further, but this is actually, what is that? Is that a Grammy?
Probably.
In here.
Yeah. It looks like a, yes.
Come close to the screen and listen. People don't have to like you. People don't have to love you. They don't even have to respect you. But when you look in the mirror, you better love what you see. And to all of you watching here, come close to the screen and listen. People don't have to like you. People don't have to love you. They don't even have to respect you. But when you look in the mirror, you better love what you see.
That's got to be one of the most, it has to be one of the most straight up things I've heard all day, well, week. You know, it's like, you can be out here doing whatever you want, but what are you at home when you got to live with yourself, right? When you got to look in the mirror, when you got to deal with your own thoughts. And dude, for decades, man, I was suffering from depression, like manic, and because of things happened in my past, in my youth and so on, and childhood, I should say. And so my brain would switch into depression at the slightest thing, like the most slightest thing. Like if I tip something, like one time I remember I was at this event and I was, put some cream in my coffee and I was mixing it up and went everywhere, and I just felt like I died, right? And I think one thing that we see with all this OnlyFans stuff, and especially with that dude with Lacari with streaming, right, being self-snitching on himself without realizing on the CP list, it's just crazy that a lot of people are so used to being online that they don't think about the future of that content they're putting out there. That all the stuff they're putting out there, it's forever, man. Like, what was that thing about the worms, right? Recently, somebody was talking about the worms in the comics gate scene.
Sinatra.
Why would you talk about that online, bro?
I know.
On video, on video, bro.
Yeah. Or he's talked about how he's like woken up in a puddle of his own piss or something like that.
Oh man, that's not a good story.
No, you don't share that stuff.
Yeah. It's just like really like self-snitching, man. People are just like so used to being online so much that they, constantly, that they just don't realize that, wait, I'm not talking to a friend now. I'm not in a private conversation with my friends, right?
Anybody can tune in and watch.
Yeah. I've sometimes I was listening to come across these streamers and I'm like, bro, what you doing? All right. Your kids someday will see this, or your family will see this someday, and here you're talking about this sort of stuff. But now this is what's happening with these girls, right? They've ruined the family they come from because of this stuff. One of my regrets is is that sometimes, because of my stuff, my past, that I've done some stuff that I feel sorry for my parents having to deal with me, right? As a kid growing up. But, it is what it is. But these girls basically destroyed their family life, bro. Their parents, their siblings, their cousins, their uncles, aunts. And now that on all for that money, man, that lust of money, right?
Money, presumably to have private engagement, private contact, if you will, or interaction with this model. Once again, this could include provocative pictures of yourself, or providing pictures to a group of people, or seductive video, or messaging, or whatever. Basically, I get the impression that nothing is really off limits, and the more a person pays, presumably the more seductive the content that you give them, more than likely, right? So y'all know this thing. You get what you pay for, right? You pay a little bit more, you're going to get a little bit more. So what I want to do is I want to talk about this young lady, Sophie Rain, because she claims that she is a devout Christian who goes to church every Sunday. She also claims that she is a virgin as well.
I don't know how to answer. I know how to answer the first one, right? Anybody can go to church on a Sunday and sit there and walk home and go and beat up your kids, beat up your wife, go gambling, go abuse people, go abuse kids, go get into fights, right? Go do gangster shit. You don't even have to be in a mafia to do that. You can just be a normal person, because we know this is how, we've seen a lot of movies with mafia movies and TV shows where this sort of behavior happens, but normal everyday people do that. They go to church on a Sunday, or temple or synagogue, right? And do that shit, and then go home and, do all atrocious stuff. So one thing, this second thing's weird though. Still a virgin, by the way. How do you, once you have had sex, you're no longer a virgin. Once you've had genital insertion, vagina insertion, I should say, and with the male, right? Once you've been in there, that's it. You're no longer a virgin. You don't become a new, they have this facade and fakery that new thinking of Christianity is that once you become a Christian, all things are new. That doesn't mean you get your virginity back. That's why they always say, protect that. All right. And so it's kind of strange to see also all this fakery going on now. Because I tell you, man, it just sometimes it cracks me up what I've seen in churches and what I've seen people preach in churches. But it's still better than Islam. And it's still better than Hinduism, I tell you. But it's just, Christianity is way better than any other religion on the face of the earth. However, a lot of people use it to get ahead financially. And a lot of people go into churches to go after kids and women. It's the truth. Wherever there is more easy pickings, people will go there, right? Because churches are people in churches trust people too easily. But leadership, like I said, I was as a youth leader in churches, we were taught how to keep an eye and protect people from strangers or newcomers, because you don't know who's going to be that friggin' devil in disguise, or the wolf in sheep's clothing. And this is what I see this as. I see these people as sheep's and wolf's clothing, right? Because they keep their name, right, that they use for OnlyFans. Because one thing is, like, if you're going to leave that life, you leave it completely. You don't go announce that, hey, that's who I was, right? I know people talk about testimonies and shit, but this is a testimony you don't want to be talking about, right? The same as testimonies you don't want to be talking about that you used to kill people, right? Gangsters used to come up in churches and go, oh, I used to be a gangster and I used to shoot people, man. It's like, okay. Are you still doing that?
You can see all these pictures on my OnlyThugs page.
Yeah, exactly, right? It's just crazy, bro. That's why when I saw this, I think it was yesterday or the day before, and I was like, what the hell is going on out here? Let me see if I think I've got one more. Oh, I was going to play, the last one I'm going to play is that one we're going to play for today. It's like, gosh, where is it? It's your boy Zach. Where is this, man? I had it open. I've forgotten where it is open. Okay, let me find it. And then we're going to come back on Monday and, my Monday, Sunday, and carry on with the other ones. But where did you go, Zach? All right. See if I can find it. It's a long list of vids saved here. Hold on, is it in that? Oh yeah, so there's another big, huge. The reason I want to bring this up, it's this one, I think, is because there's a where. No, that's not it. Let me just remove that off there. What happened to Zach? Oh yeah, let me play this while I There's a DoorDash lady, girl. Hold up. I'll play this while I go look for Zach's video.
We just got out of the court case for the TikTok DoorDash girl, which it's safe to say that was fascinating. Something big did happen, but it took a while for anything to happen at all. So now we're in the beautiful Oswego, New York. We're way upstate New York now. This is very different from Miami. It's safe to say the weather here is way more harsh. I think it's like 11 degrees Fahrenheit or something like that right now, which is very different from the 70-degree weather that was in Miami for the Jack Doherty trial. But, so,
All right. See if I can find it. It's a long list of vids saved here.
Let me just find it.
All right.
Let me just find it. 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 Let me Anyway, so there's a lot of stuff that happened. So I got here at the court at about 9:21. She was on trial at 9:30. This time it was a little bit different because last time we know that we had footage of inside of the courtroom because the news was there. So the news, they were set up, they were filming her, and you had that moment where the judge said, or where her and her attorney complained about them filming the courtroom because they wanted privacy, and the judge went, well, oh, now you want privacy. You're on trial for filming someone in their own home. So that's crazy. My hands are freezing, by the way. I am so underdressed for this weather. This is a bad problem. Okay, so anyway, I walk in. There's no TV camera set up.
Yeah. Now that person has their privacy, like, has no privacy, that now they want privacy.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing. So this is what happened originally, right? Where she filmed
I
this
remember.
dude.
Yeah, I remember. She literally
posted in an Oswego courtroom today. A DoorDash driver showing a naked customer accusing him of harassment, but getting arrested herself. 2 months later, she's facing the charges. News Channel 9's Andrew Donovan was there for her arraignment.
So that was that. So I think I'm gonna have to do my I was gonna say monkey man.
I seen the video. She literally put down the food at the doorstep, then walked further and pushed open the door.
Yes. Yeah. And she was like basically let go.
Their front door was wide open,
yeah,
and they were within eyesight of the front door, laying on the couch.
So she says that the door was open, but it wasn't, right? She pushed it open.
TikTok page. Their front door was wide open, and they were within eyesight of the front door, laying on the couch, indecently exposed to me.
This is her last post, published October 26th, 2 weeks after her now deleted video causing this controversy. Working as a driver for delivery service DoorDash, Henderson claimed she was dropping off a food order when through the customer's door, saw him on the couch naked. After posting her footage, she reported the incident to Oswego police as sexual harassment.
Some of the claims that she had made on social media after the fact were not in fact true.
Investigators determined the man, drunkenly unconscious on his couch, did nothing wrong. But he found out lewd images of him were published for thousands of TikTok users to see. So police criminally charged Henderson with 2 counts related to unlawful surveillance. Court documents accuse her of recording, quote, intimate parts without consent when he had a reasonable expectation of privacy.
And to all those that have been supportive of me during this time, thank you so much.
For as talkative as she's been on TikTok until now, she had nothing to say while leaving the courthouse.
Livy, do you want to say anything about what happened?
Yeah, she's cooked, man.
What a dumb bitch.
Yeah. Well, with that, we'll leave it for today, guys. Thank you, Tim. We'll come back on your Sunday.
You know who didn't stop by? If I may interrupt for a sec.
Yeah, the bullies.
Stop by. Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of like
guys.
And KSS as well. So kind of like my good friend KSS. My very good friend KSS didn't stop by.
Yeah.
So
happy birthday.
Exactly. All right, so that's us for today. We'll be back on Sunday US time, Monday New Zealand time. So for everybody who's watching, Tim, do you got anything to say?
Just click on that link tree and buy some really entertaining books that are finished.
Awesome. And that's in our descriptor for the video live stream.
Yep,
all right, we'll catch you next time, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Wherever you are, be well, be safe, have an awesome day, week, and year, month. We'll catch you on the flip side. Bye for now.
Peace.
Ka kite ano.
Nope. Can't stay here anymore. I gotta get back. I think this was the spot. Oh Lord, I beseech thee, please return me to my old life. I swear I'll do anything. Like, literally anything. And I won't bother you again, so pretty please bring me back to life.